I was just watching your recent video.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, Breaking Bad. Thank you, sir. How are you doing today, man? How's your week been in sports
No,
cards?
nothing,
Any breaks
nothing
or
this
anything?
week. I've been in a few breaks last week, just some cheap stuff. I heard like you were buying Prism football at retail, or basketball,
I did.
or football, right? And then you're
Yeah,
not you're on the fence on basketball, even though the Wimby stuff seems to be flying out of all the boxes.
dude. The Wimby. Have you seen the Monopoly hits too, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't even know what to think of it at this point. To be honest with you, it's like, do you even at
What
this
I
point you
think
just wait till the dust settles unless you can get into a break because it's just so expensive.
I would say I agree. The problem is too much is out. You have the retail came out, it's expensive.
Yep.
You have Monopoly out, it's expensive. First off the line is out, it's expensive. Hobby's out, but there it's too much right now. And it's
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm gonna wait before I get in any big breaks, but I'm wondering how things are gonna. I don't know. It's different times.
Yeah, I have a few breakers that I break with, whether it's on Facebook or just some things that I see here and there that I jump into that are cheap. Like if I'm
Yeah,
oh like somebody's a $15 buy-in for a random, or maybe a team I like is cheap, or like a Buccaneer team. I got into one last week, didn't hit anything, but it was a two box Prism break for hobby, and it was a $10 buy-in. So I'm like, okay, you never know what you hit. And then I just donated my cards. I said just give them to kids because there's
yeah,
nothing that I was really getting into right there. Um, but it's just one of those things right now. Is like I'm trying to figure out direction, I guess, on what I want to try to get into break wise, because it comes out as fast as product comes out. People change. For instance, I was looking for another prison break to get
yeah.
into, and I couldn't find another prison break to get into from my normal guys because they've already moved on to other stuff, and I feel like it hasn't. They haven't milked it long enough, and that's really where I'm like, okay, now I have to go find this. Oh, I was recently in a Disney Marvel 100 break, for instance. I know it's not sports cards, but it has that genre to it, and I've only found a couple people that
Yeah.
even are breaking cases of that. And I just went in and bought a bunch of individual, the cheap
Can
ones,
you?
just to see if it hits golds.
I was gonna ask you. Can you explain that to me? Are you buying players in that? How do you buy Disney breaks? Is it
You buy
like how is it
individual
weighted?
Captain America, Spider Man, Loki,
And are some higher
individual
cost
characters.
more? Like is
Oh yeah.
Mickey like the Texans? Right.
Well, there's no Mickey. This is all Marvel. So this is
Okay, okay,
100%
okay.
Marvel only.
Yeah.
This just released. Just released. So like the gold Iron Man to 10 was pulled. I think it sold for nearly 2 grand for that card. So just like the sports card hobby, there are rabid people that will pay. I haven't seen a one of one come out yet. They do have one of ones, so I can only imagine what those would go for the top people.
I'll tell you again, if I was trying other sports or non-sports, breaking is the way I would do it. I
Oh,
love the fact that you can get in and get a little piece. My
well,
challenge would be I'd want to research it. And right now the checklists seem to be very weak. Are there good checklists on these Marvel products and stuff like that?
yeah, it
And
tells
do
you
you
everything that it's
research it
pretty
for?
much. Yeah, I did. But what sucks is, like I said, this isn't made for America. All the
Yeah.
stuff is in Chinese. Every last bit of it's in Chinese.
Yeah.
So you have to go to a website, then you have to translate to look over and see what the hits are per box, and then try and go per case. The case I was in was actually a really good case because I watched the case before that get it, and they didn't get as many numbered cards as my case. So it always feels better too when I'm in a break, that even if I don't hit a big card, I'm in a break that a big card is hit. Like I feel better
I know
that I
what you
was
mean.
a part of that opportunity versus this just everybody here just got screwed basically. And it
I know what you
happens.
mean. It's like you feel like you were there for the ride, like you experienced,
Yeah.
like you saw. Like I remember watching a guy in the Shimmer. A guy had the Texans, right, in the
Hmm.
first off the line, and the breaker was open. The card, it was Texans. It was a quarterback. It was not CJ. It was the other guy. But during that sweat, that guy's pulse is up. As a watcher, being in the break, I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. And it comes out being what's his name, Mills is the Texas
Yeah.
quarterback. What a letdown, man! But it was fun just
Yeah.
being there. I can
Let's
say I
see
was
what we got.
there.
We got a couple people in the chat. We have Sanderson Orr
Oh,
there,
sweet.
who's just dared to disagree with me. That's just his way of saying that he loves me out loud.
Good, good, good,
And then
good.
Brendan Ryan here. I did see the Mama Breaks influencers loaded boxes. Again, that's going to happen, guys. Fanatics has their own breaking. They have these people that they're going to give boxes to. They're going to make sure they're going to get hits. Are they going to hit everything? No. So you still have opportunity elsewhere. But at the end of the day, yeah, go break with these people. I mean, if they're putting it in their hands and there's an opportunity, just do it. I mean, that they're putting it on a platter for you. They're saying, here you go. It's going to happen over here.
Sucks.
You just got to be involved. It sucks, but listen, they're running the show. You know, at the end of the day, that's the game, and they're controlling the game right now.
It was funny. I was thinking about this. You know that 1/1 Brawny card got pulled by that little Wisconsin. We're hearing about that. I'm convinced that that was supposed to be a loaded box that was supposed to go to Fanatics, and the guy at Fanatics screwed it up, and he accidentally shipped it to a local card store.
Hey, that's going to happen too. And guess what? It is what it is. You know, I'm just glad
look,
that
here's
it's
why.
over with.
There was no
there
was no bounty on that, right? Why was there no bounty on that one? I just thought that was kind of
because
weird,
it wasn't in the right person's hands
either. That's right.
I don't really know. Maybe they've gotten burned on bounties lately. They might have gotten burned.
Well, it's all the bounties were coming in from Dave and Adams and from I guess the big wholesalers. But those have kind of chilled lately. Like I did see there was a prison bounty out on a gold Wimby. On a gold Wimby, they're offering 100,000 Canadian up in Shark Slabs or something like that. Put a bounty on that today. So
they're like $50 American.
It used to be many, many years ago, but not anymore, man. The Canadian friends are gonna be mad about that. So I will tell you, man.
That's why I said it.
I was in some. You're gonna get banned on Carlos's show.
He likes me too much.
Last week I did some breaks, so I will say I won 380 bucks on the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
On this, a flyer. I bet $10 on them back in September.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I bet $10 in September, an immaculate break, and I completely whiffed. 100%. Still fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah. I will say I debated back and forth whether to go with the Pistons or the Rockets, and I should have went Pistons. But most things you look back and think twice. I also would have done more cases of immaculate. I really love the product, but I kind of after getting burned once, I'm like, let me move my budget. So I bought 2 cases of the Donruss Choice 10 box cases. Through Mojo Breaks. I got a really good deal on those. I got those for like $400, $420, $430 per case with a discount and everything, which is still a shitload of money, dude. And then I ended up getting 3 out of the 2 breaks. I got 3 Victor base cards. I did get the other rookie for their team, Sadidi, some guy, some other. Yeah. It's funny. The breaker's sitting there and I'm sitting there, going, hey man, we need a Spurs hit. Can you pull me some Spurs? And he's pulling the cards. Oh, I got a number to 10 autograph for the Spurs. And when I heard him say autograph for the Spurs, I'm like, well, damn it, that sucks.
Now you're burned. Yeah.
It was it was the other guy. It was a city dude. I'm like, this is absolute crap. So that was my big breaking weekend. Was the 2 choice breaks, the immaculate break. I still have a bunch of Prism stuff coming back that I'm loving. I'm going to send out to PSA. Do you submit your own cards to PSA or do you use a subber?
So usually I go through Tampa Card Shop. I've never submitted probably 8 cards at this point. I do have a stack of cards to submit because I'm actually going to try to move stuff. And a lot of times I've noticed when I go to shows and throw stuff, like when I was at the Atlanta show with Dustin and Steve, I throw some stuff in the case, and unless it's graded, like people don't want to try to buy it. It's a really bad stigmatism because there's more money into grade to flip again because the majority of people are doing that. And the majority of the cards I also have are really good cards. They're not like just the same shiny crap mosaic that you see in all the cases. So I'm going to try and actually submit a fair amount of cards that I'm buying to attempt to flip. So there's a few cards I've been buying. I just watched till they pop up that I think are going to have a pretty heavy increase going towards the national because I'm still 99%. I'm going to the national. So I want to have stuff that I can move there. And if I can move it prior to that, that's fine. It matters what it comes back graded wise. But I'm trying to pick off people that I know are already going to be going up at that time that are not up right now. And you see a lot of people doing that, especially with Kyler Murray right now. All of Kyler Murray's stuff really has damn near doubled in the last month.
I have noticed that. I've been watching Steve's stuff. I have to say, Steve does I love Steve's his risk and how he moves his stuff. He takes chances. and his reasoning behind it. He's very logical
Yep.
in where he's going to make the bets. It's funny. I'm big on Modern Prison right now. I sent a bunch of stuff. I sent 50 cards to PSA through a friend of mine who's subbing for me. I have probably another 25 that I'll get together. I will say when you. So I was wondering how you're subbing your stuff. Like, I'm also trying to use ComC to sub 1 or 2 cards a month through them. I know it costs a little more, but I'm thinking if I submit, let's say I submit 2 cards through ComC a month, after a few months, I start having kind of a regular revenue stream of PSA 10s coming back.
Yeah. Have you tried Veriswap or MySlabs?
So I've tried MySlabs. I've never sold on MySlabs.
Okay.
I'm lazy with direct selling. I really am. I'd rather sell through people than to sell directly to individuals. Veriswap, I've just not been interested in at all. I've seen some, I do like Steve's videos on it.
Yeah.
You know, he talks about some of the stuff he's trading and explanations that make sense. You don't physically send the cards to them, right? That's all through the app. You still keep your own
correct.
cards.
You're keeping your own cards. You're basically, it's a marketplace that is open source to where somebody can go and look at your cards. So think of it like you have an online card table. That's the best way to put it. And I can say, I have these cards in my Veriswap that I'm willing to trade with you, and can we make a deal?
Does it work with?
I don't know.
Does it work with Mascot? Does it integrate with Mascot yet?
I have no idea.
Do you use Mascot at all? No.
I don't use Mascot at all.
Okay. Because you're primarily, when you sell, how do you sell your cards? Primarily?
I don't sell a whole lot. I'm not much of a seller. I mean, I got a room full of cards, to be honest with you right now. I mean, I got cards over here, over there, because I end up in breaks and you just end up with stuff, which I like doing. It's like, again, like you were saying, I'd rather take that gamble and end up with something that's, even if it's a little something, because some of those little somethings turn into something later. So at the same time, I have still a potential to make money. I just now have to wait.
You're what I refer to as your collector constipated.
Yeah, and I'm really starting to narrow.
I'm the same way.
I keep down.
I'm the same way with Funkos.
I couldn't do Funkos; those are too big. I did toys for a little while.
That's what I'm running out of space, and I feel
space.
Yeah, that's why I say constipated, because I know what you mean. Like, I got a bunch of Funkos I want to sell. I know they have value. I just haven't gotten motivated enough to sell them yet.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Brendan Ryan
had
wrote the cards down that. Oh, go ahead.
I've been ignoring chat. I totally
forgot about it. No. Brendan Ryan, he was talking to Saul guy, opened 25 blasts.
When I picked up some,
and didn't pull much, basically, but a handful of winnings outside of that.
The product looks harder this year than it was last year.
It is.
I know last year had a lot of dud boxes, but this year I think this year they made it a real product. You know what I'm saying? Like, every box has at least a purple in it, but I bet you the print run on this is huge.
It has
huge
to be. It has to be. I mean, with Top Series 1 coming out, that product, I've never seen so many autographs coming out of this product, and you're not guaranteed an autograph unless you buy a hobby box. And if you go look on Topps right now, because I follow just Topps 2024 autograph and auto, and the amount per day that come on there, and the prices keep nosediving. And I find it really weird on one of the products that I kind of complain about in a video I'll be releasing probably tonight for tomorrow, is they have these cards numbered to 10 that are on card autograph, but the majority of the patches in them are not from any event or player worn. They're fake. But then if you go look at this single patch relics that you get out of the packs, they're all game used. So why wouldn't you use a game used patch for a card number to 10 that's autographed on card, versus putting it in the card that's not even autographed, that's easier to hit? I don't get that. You put a lesser product in a better version of the card than you did.
I think the answer is because they don't care.
Sure.
But you know what I'm saying? I heard one, and they know they're going to give you crap with it, and they're going to have something that doesn't have the on card that's got a better relic. It just, I don't think they care. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's a collector's.
Too. Way more parallels this year. They've really taken Panini's marketing strategy with each type of packaging having specific colored inserts, relegated to just that type of packaging. and it's getting really confusing because it's really making every other card worth less and less. Like it's confusing everybody. You don't know what is the better card. You don't know what it is to collect. And they did this year. If you notice, Topps did not put the odds on the back of the pack for the first time this year. You have to go to the website to look at all the odds for all the hits, because they probably couldn't fit it on the back of the pack because of how much crap that they did this year. It's just, and that everybody's going to turn to Chrome anyway. This is kind of like a soft introduction to what Chrome's going to be later.
It is interesting because I also think a lot of people are more educated than they've ever been before. Like, for example, everybody recognizes there's more parallels. We all do. But we also recognize there's money on them. I mean, like, for example, you look at the CJs, there's probably 5 to 10 common color retail cards. You got his oranges, you got his greens, there's 5 or 6 of them. That right now, if you came back a PSA 10, are probably $500 each. In a PSA 10. I'm just going to conservatively say $500 each. Think about that. Now, can that hold? I don't know. Like, for example, like you said, every one of us, I think we're like, get our stuff, get it graded, and get it sold by the National. I'm wondering if there's going to be maybe a correction in that. Will there be too much selling before the National?
No. I think it's just going to keep compounding.
I also think
up.
The National's going to be lower this year. It's a smaller venue, so you're going to have less people. It's a different venue, and that's not bad. Like, it's not going to be as popular as last year.
Because people and sellers are rabid, and so are the people that buy. And with the amount of people that always think that they're smarter than somebody else, all in the same place at the same time, people start making stupid decisions. And then it becomes nothing but reactionary. And reactionary creates higher prices. So I can't see it. Everybody is rabid. I go to the shows. I got 2 shows this weekend and a Fanatics party at the card shop, all in the same day. And guess what? There's going to be plenty of people at all of them. Yeah. And there'll be plenty of people at everything I'm going to go to. So it's just like, that's telling me that everything's fine. You know, at the end of the day, people are walking around because they're willing to spend money, or they're willing to trade, or somebody's willing to sell. Like, that's all that's telling me. So it's telling me that the market is hungry, because when there's nobody around, nobody's hungry.
I don't disagree. There's some great signals that things are strong. I don't think there's crazy though. I don't think like there's the big crazy money. Like some of these big. What do you think the 101 Bronny will sell for? That's going up to auction.
I don't know. I hope LeBron buys it personally. I don't really care. Bronny's not even going to be a relevant player in the NBA. This is a waste of everybody's time. To be completely honest with you, if he was not a LeBron's son, nobody would know who this person is. He'd be nowhere. So I think this is just good propaganda, BS, blah blah blah. Let them go do whatever. Because if somebody's truly believing that Bronny's going to be anything, or they just want the card because it's LeBron's seed, that's fine. Go ahead, spend your money on it. But there's no extrinsic value outside of that I see this card turning into without something negative and catastrophic happening that somebody has to have it. That would be it. Otherwise, down the tube money goes. Just throw it in the garbage, toilet, flush. That's all you're doing. It's a waste of time.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I just think there's so many cards like that are just declining, going down in value.
The one thing
Tom
I
Brady
with Panini. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The Tom Brady.
I'll say the Tom Brady auto cards; those continue to go down in value. Although the $500,000 bounty is still out there for that one card.
Yeah, that card hasn't been pulled yet, so it's sitting somewhere.
Isn't that surprising? And did you?
That's very surprising.
What was it? The superfractor for what's his name? Julio Rodriguez was just pulled recently.
Yeah. Well, what was the Luka card just pulled recently too? There was a low, high value Luka card that just popped out. It was like 2 weeks ago.
I saw Herbert to 2 get pulled in contenders. I saw a Mahomes red get pulled. And
somebody else's 101 got pulled too. A top.
It's funny. I did see Mojo did a case break of the contenders. 2017 contenders, and they were touting the Mahomes. And all I can tell you is I remember back in that year chasing Kareem Hunt as an idiot. And Mahomes was super short printed in that. There's not a lot of Mahomes contenders autos. Like, I knew that was not going to be a good break.
Yeah.
And that was an expensive case. There's some products that I would stay away from. One product I'd love to get a case, it would be Origins 2017.
Yeah, but
Remember that product?
the
A
thing
couple
with
$100 a
Origins
box
is the
again, way back in
quality,
the day.
the quality control on Origins is horrible. So you're definitely not looking for anything to
Yeah,
grade
no, I
high
don't
in
disagree,
that
but
stuff.
no, you're right. Because it's all fat books, but just some really good relics and good chunky stuff. I just remember being a fun product. I mean, Prism was great because at all the 2017 they're all silvers, you know.
Yep.
So
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what they did with Prism this year with football. All the autos, the base autos are silver, which I'm glad they did that. There's no point of it being a plain auto. It should just be a silver.
what they do in
All the
Prism? What was
autos
the
I've
change?
seen coming out of Prism football, they're all. I'm pretty sure they're all silvers. The base rookies are silver.
That is good. That is good because you're right. They used to have base autographs and they had silver autographs.
Yeah, yeah, they got away from that.
Yeah. So what would be
So
next
they
on
did
your
it.
list then? Break wise, anything that I know you're saying, kind of playing it, you know, by
Yeah, I'm
ear.
just watching. Topps 5 Star just came out. It's kind of a higher end product, and it's either you hit something or miss. It's one of those to where not everybody's going to win.
Yeah,
Um, I really Panini's done a really good job recently with inserts, which
yeah.
I feel like we're getting back to a really cool insert phase again. And it might be one of those things that it's only going to be around for a couple of years because Panini's going to be out of the loop here very soon, and I don't think they're going to try to overly compete with Fanatics. And if they do, it's going to be very difficult for them to be successful at a high level, at least. Um, but the inserts they've been coming out with now, especially the way they did case hits, where basically there are more than one case hit available per case of cards. So let's say there's 4 versions of case hits now.
Yep.
Some are actually better looking and more touted, but they're trying. My thing is like, which one's the rarest case hit? Because even in Prism, you have multiple case hits, but which one's the rarest case hit? And unless you really break a lot of this or watch a ton of breaks, you can really say like, oh, Magnas or whatever they're called, they're rarer than Color Blast, or this is rarer than that. But I've noticed that some of the stuff that Panini has been coming out with, especially their lower end product, like a Prestige or a Phoenix, they have some of the best inserts I've seen in a long time. Like with creativity, flash, design, a bunch of different variations that a lot of them look good. Because the one thing we usually end up with is variations of colors that don't match players' outfits, or uniforms, teams, whatever it may be, and it becomes very undesirable. Prism football this year, you have retail rares are blue and red. Well, there's
Yep.
only so many teams that lines up for, but it's a fair amount. But if you go look for retail blue or reds right now for Prism, there's not a lot. When I say
Yep.
not a lot, you might find 3 of one player online. And some don't even have 3 out. And there's a lot of retail that gets ripped. And
So
for only that many coming out, maybe they printed 50 of those of each player because it's only the base card in the set. It doesn't fall into inserts. So
so here's
it's a pretty rare card.
this is something you made me think about. I wish that there was a way to check historically what are the pop counts of some of these super short print cards. For example, checkerboard cards, right? About how many of those are being made? We could look
Now a
at previous
lot,
pop counts, but you're saying they
but
were
now a
saying
lot.
I agree because they've totally. I think there's like what 3 in every retail box. Previous years
Feels
are
like,
like there was, but there really are. There's 3. I think that it says in the retail box 3 per retail box, and then it has 1
so
green ice.
so I think there's been 3 in every retail box for the last 3 years.
Checkerboards, really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I used to get full retail boxes at my Target, and because there would be more than one that would come out, and there'd be 3 or 4 of us, so we'd split it, and we'd pretty much just rip it all right there, and we'd always end up with 3 per box. So, and that's going
So
all
I've
the way
done
back to when
terrible
there
in
was
those
kind of
boxes.
like a line of people to do stuff. So, yeah, the checkerboards, especially the red and black one, which is a mega exclusive, they threw up all over the place
And
basically.
I'll give you
Not
another
that rare.
example. I was looking at, so I love the Monopoly product, and I was looking at Monopoly to see about how many running man are there for each player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at the players and how many running man total are graded, those numbers are coming in less than 25, 30, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of shocks me, right? For some of those short prints. I'm thinking, why isn't there a tool that does the same stuff that looks at, let's say, 2017 or whatever, I don't know, 2020, whenever Kabooms came out and says, hey, on average, there's about 100 kabooms or about 150 graded. Now I know pop counts vary because of recracks and everything like that, but I would
Yeah.
love that type of like we should. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but that's available in the PSA pop count. Like it shows you the variations. You can do
Hmm.
an average, like okay, of the 300 player checklist, how many reds are there for Prism, right? How many
Yeah.
are graded? And I know you won't find that like some of the shit players aren't going to get graded at all, but at least of the top players, right? You'll see, hey, 25, 25, 30, 25. You have an idea. Hey, there's about 40. There's about 50 out in the wild. It would be really helpful to know that because it would help, like you said, in
Yeah.
targeting what are those more rare case hits. Is it the kabooms? Is it? I think the Magna things are pretty damn cool. I've never seen one pulled. I've
No,
seen
I have. I've been in a break with one that
videos
got
of
pulled.
them,
Yeah,
but
no,
I've
I've been in a break. They're pretty
never
rare. The
watched
magnets are pretty rare.
them live. Never been in a break with one.
Mm. No, I have, but it's
Prism,
tricky right now
well,
because
they did.
they're never going to give us the actual odds unless somebody leaks it. I was hoping somebody that took one of those Panini servers would have broke some, news out for us, or released it. But since Panini stole their own servers, they didn't let any of that get out. So it is what it is, I guess. Whatever.
You made me think of a great idea. I was going to do a skit that I'm a hacker, anonymous hacker, and I'm going to give all this fake information out. Panini print run. There are exactly
Hmm.
4,200,000. Just make up information hasn't leaked out. I just think that we could though get more information just from kind of some type of hit tracking capability. Here we go. Brandon agrees. Hit tracking could be useful, assuming you can't vet the data. And again, just having a rougher idea, right? You're not getting super
Yeah.
accuracy, but to give us an idea. Even with baseball, we have all these SSPs and SP. But what's the difference between an SP and SSP? Right? A breaker will
Correct.
tell you everything's a damn SSP. Let's look at the
Yeah.
data. Let's look back and say, on average, an SSP has about 400 of these variations or
Yeah,
whatever.
and
I don't know.
you can even go off a grading sometimes because, like for instance, Panini Prism football this year, the centering of it is horrid. It's either
Yeah.
too high, too low, too far right. Like 90, literally,
Yeah.
too far right's a lot. Like there should be less graded tens this year of any card out of Prism football. It just it's everyone. I mean, like I break open multiple blasters, and it's like you might find one card that's centered that you
You
consider
just got to
centered.
trim it. You just got to
Oh
trim
well,
it, Mike.
I haven't seen Kurt Card Care trimming tool yet, so that makes it look like it never got trimmed. But I know I can fold one in half and make sure it looks brand new again. At least I can do that.
Or my favorite strategy, you just keep submitting it and submitting it and submitting it until they give you the grade you
That
want, which
yeah,
I will
yes,
tell you,
the
it
SEC
works. Who was
quality
it?
control.
Who was I listening to? Somebody was telling me, and I asked them in their video, I forget who it was, I'll come to you later on, that they did resubmit a numbered card
Hmm.
4 times to PSA and they finally got a 10. And I even said to them, this was a number card. This flies in all the bullshit. Pull up an image. The cards have been graded once. They give you the same grade. It's I don't know. I don't know. Again, Wizards and Magic, man. That's all it is. Wizards and Magic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, 100%. But I mean, with breaking right now, I'm just trying to figure out what product would be most viable to get into. Again, you always want to get in and get the best team or the guy that has the most hype or the most value. And you have to pay for that unless you can find a place that's a true random, which I like because I'm willing to take that chance to getting the worst team to possibly the best team, knowing I would never buy into it because I'm not going to spend that heavy amount of money.
When,
But that's
when
my
you
philosophy.
random, do you random one spot or are you random multiples? Like, do you go
It's just
strong on a
based on the
random?
cost to get in. Sometimes, yeah, based on
Because
when a
I've
product
done
usually first hits,
random
I
where
do.
because I'll do random when I'm doing like a third of the board. Like I'm heavy
Hmm.
on a random. Okay, I want 10 of the 30 teams. I don't like doing single team randoms. I just don't. I've had too much bad luck from it, so I just stayed away from it. I appreciate them. I respect the random, but for me, I'm like hard random, or I just patiently wait for PYT. So
Yeah, it's just PYT.
I
Usually, it's just hard to find and get the spot quick enough because some
I
people
do.
that are in these breaks
Yeah,
are just hunting. They're just hunting.
yeah.
That's
No,
all
I
they're
agree with
doing.
you on that. I will say I do think right now Series One baseball is one of the funnest sport spots or products to break in the sense that you're not having to chase value. You can get some really cheap teams if you like a team. And now there's so many different hits out there with short prints and these little,
Correct.
you know, first cards. There's just so many things out there. It's actually a fun product. I think you can make some value
I'll
in breaking it.
deliberately get into a case break and get a lesser team that has bigger hits. I'll
Yeah.
do that on purpose.
I
I'll
said, do
target
you
one or two teams where for opportunity over anything.
have you seen the checklist? Now there used to be a website out called Group Break Checklist. It
Hmm.
was merged or went away, and I thought it would became Break Ninja. But when I've gone to the Break Ninja website, it's more advertisements than data. But there
Okay.
used to be a checklist that would not only give you the breakdown of the players, but it told you which teams had the most hits. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I tell you, the
I
Yankees.
come across those. Yeah, well, baseball is easy, especially because everybody does Chrome usually, but or draft or whatever that is in the Bowman products. I have a few people that I follow on Facebook that always list that stuff. Even people that are breaking, they lay out, hey, these are the best hits. I know Houdini does that as well over on Blowout. If you go into look into the breaks, they'll tell you
Okay.
in that forum, hey, this team has the best hits, second team, third team, and this is what you're looking for. Like they'll lay it out for you just to go
Good.
because they know most of these people are set collector type people, but you can find it. It's just not all at one place, not anymore.
Yeah, say, and that's another thing I really wish. Like I'll say this, I think there's so much opportunity in breaking for business, right? What I mean by that is there's nobody, in my opinion, catering to people like you and I who buy into breaks. Everybody's
Yep,
catering to the breaker community, right? And everybody complains about it. But really, we need a hit list. We need a great checklist, like Sports Card Radio talked about the other day. And I'm doing a terrible job on monitoring the comments. Next time, man, you got to do that because I'm not even paying attention to
that's
them.
fine. Well,
Um,
I can read them off. I tried to see if I could pop them up on the screen, but I think only you have access to that.
yeah, admin thingy.
We'll,
Great.
we'll
I
figure it
I
out in the
do know
future.
grading's a scam, dude. I believe all sports cards, the whole sports card world is really the Matrix. Like you basically jump into this whole different world where shit happens that never happens anywhere else. Like you cannot explain sports cards to a layman. If you're on a train ride or a plane ride, sit next to somebody who knows nothing about sports cards and explain to them sports cards. At the end of the time, they're gonna sit there and look at you in the head and think you're fucking crazy. They're gonna go,
No,
really, dude?
that's not for them. Or like, yeah, I used to collect rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
but
thanks.
again, it takes a special person, and you listen to people, you listen to these channels, and they start dropping atomic this and fractional this and number of that. I'd be lost too. So to me, yes, it's all fucking a scam, dude. Grading is a scam. It totally is. But it's a net. I've learned. It's like I've learned how to enjoy the scam. I learned how to surf this wave, and it
Yeah,
took me a
no,
while
it's
to get into grading. I won't lie to
yeah.
you.
I mean, at the end of the day, these are just pictures on cardboard with serial numbered foil on them.
I think I'll tell you my first experience of grading. I was big into Facebook groups long ago, and we are in these groups. And back then, Facebook groups were designed to be cheaper than the regular world. So the breaks were cheaper,
Yeah,
selling was cheaper,
yeah.
everything was cheaper. And I remember there was this one group called Slab Hut. I'm like, what the hell, Slab Hut? And I got invited into it, and there was cards. I'm looking at these cards, I'm like, why is this card 3, 4, 5 times more than the regular card? Oh, it's because it's graded. That was my first entrance into grading. I'm like, because it's graded. And then I remember talking to a guy explaining how you got to send your cards to this guy. He's going to grade them. You get nines and tens. You make all this money. It didn't make sense to me. It took me years before I started grading cards. Now, I'll tell you right now, if you're into cards, you should be grading cards. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's a scam or not, just accept the fact that it's a necessary. And they make mistakes, dude. They will grade your uncentered cards as a 10. That happens all the time. So I love
You do.
PSA.
Again, we know everything we're doing is bullshit at the end of the day. It's just something we
Yeah.
enjoy. And I get it. And I have originally when I collected cards and kept certain cards, it was, about aesthetics. I'm all about visual perception more than rarity, but they make things more visually perceptive and rarer. So they do it on purpose. And then sometimes people will say, oh, it's numbered to 10, but it's hideous. I don't really care. I'll walk right by it. I mean, Prestige this year with football, perfect example. Some of the best looking cards are numbered out of 75. They're golds, which golds usually aren't numbered out of 75. They're less. And I think Prestige, they did a fantastic job with that product with all the parallels in it. There's a lot, but you can find whatever parallel for your team, for your player that looks good, and you can just go with it and enjoy your card. And they put a lot more into it than they did Prism. The same with Phoenix. They put a lot more into both these products than they did their flagship. which I find really funny.
Yeah.
And it's a lesser quality product technically, but it looks nicer. And the auto checklist is fantastic for prestige, hard to hit, but pretty much everybody's in it.
It's funny. So I would say my favorite looking card are the shimmers. I love shimmer cards. Gold, blue, red. That shimmery look is done
Uh-huh.
great. And the way they do it, like I've seen them screwed up, but if the player's picture's perfect and the shimmer behind it, I just think those are the most
Yeah, when you get the
visually pleasing
player,
cards.
when the shimmer doesn't cross the player and it highlights
Yeah.
the player, I like it. But sometimes they don't do that. Okay,
Like one of my
it
favorite,
just
I'd
doesn't
say
look good.
this set of, I got my damn screen
Yeah,
thing
I know.
on in the background.
Yeah.
The Monopoly Prism 500 set, which they have again
Uh-huh.
this year. I think this is one of the best sleeper sets out there because it is the gold shimmer, but it's numbered to
Mhm.
500, which I know is going to piss a
Mhm.
lot of people off. It pissed me off too. But it's such an achievable and beautiful card, man. It really is a gorgeous card. Like I've shown this to friends and they're like, oh, well, that looks really pretty. That one, it looks really, that one's probably worth, they accept the fact that's worth more money than say a card from the 80s or 90s. This is visually definitely, I like that card a lot.
I guess
So
from an
I can
aesthetic
feel that.
standpoint, I get
You like
upset knowing that they're doing it at a lesser, cheaper version that somebody else has already mimicked it and made it better. And the perfect example is the Disney product that basically is mimicking Prism, but it looks better than Prism. And I'm like, okay, hold on. You're telling me you can't control your crap, but over here they can control it just fine. Okay, somebody's lying to me. I'm gonna have to go with Panini on this, the liar, because Disney is putting out a superior product of the exact same thing with just a different image on it.
I wonder who's printing Disney's product though. Like I still think Fanatics is screwing with Panini. They're like
Oh,
kicking the printer when
100%.
it's off center.
They are, but if you go and look at like Dragon Ball Z cards that have come out with all the foiling on them, some of the
Mm-hmm.
newer gaming cards. What's the other one that I really liked recently that I saw? The new Spider-Man set that Marvel came out with,
Wakanda?
again, only available in China,
Okay.
and some of the inserts. We don't even have any of that stuff over here. Like the whole point is just mimic something that's already successful and then, put it out. And it's just like, why are you not doing that? When I see a lights out card and it doesn't glow, that's a problem for me. Because that card screams glow. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know they make glow because Tops make glow cards. So stop messing with me. And the molecular cards that AEW recently put out with Upper Deck, where it's now a 3 movement card. Like, where's that? That's a great action play. It's a sequence.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
what are you doing? Everybody's the new glass cards from AEW Upper Deck. They're fantastic looking. They're acetate, but they look better because they have the holographic foil built into the actual image with the
Wow.
clear side. So it's like, okay, I'm seeing all these cool things all over the place, but I'm not getting it in the cards I wanted it. So it's like at this point, can I just make my own card? Like, give me the option to choose my player, choose the cards I like, and then just hit print, and then you send me my cards. And at the end of like 4 months, we figure out how many cards are out, and we figure out what's rare.
They do that in NFTs. They do that in NFTs.
Yeah, but I can't touch it. And listen, NFTs, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry. It's you want to talk about magic and the magician behind the mirror? That's the Wizard of Oz. Okay, because at any point somebody can turn the server off, and guess where your NFT is? Bye. At least I still have my shitty card worth $1.
No, I don't disagree with you. I don't know what to say with that. I mean, I think Panini's gotten lazy. I think Panini's just printing for money right now. They're just, I mean, like everybody's complaining about
for
them,
money, but print for good money. But print for good money, because again, another product comes out, we all run away from the last one.
I would also this though. Remember, I think Panini's already been paid. Like right now, they're just printing for demand. Like a lot of people already paid for the orders for this year. They're selling right now for next year, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like Panini won't make more money for retail this year.
Because at some point, whenever Panini attempts to turn this faucet off or whatever direction they're going to go, if they're going to sell, if they're going to stay and just do unlicensed, or they're going to say, screw it, we're going to take the lawsuit, come at us, we're going to just license the product, which at that point, they should just already do it right now. But I'm still waiting for somebody to jump that ship and just go, what Brian Gray's always talked about, where you just do it and you say, come at me, bro. He's playing baseball. He's in a uniform. I bought this photo. What are you yelling at me for? I'm not doing nothing wrong.
I'm surprised Fanatics did not print already. I really am.
Because
they'd be the ones most likely. They could afford the fines and the fees.
Well, what's interesting
Panini
is
can't.
like Topps owns digital rights to specific things that other people own physical rights to. Okay, for instance, Marvel is owned by Upper Deck. Okay, Topps has a Marvel app for Marvel cards because there's a Marvel app that Topps has. There's a baseball app Topps has. There's a hockey app Topps has. Okay, so you can go get those versions of cards in an app if you want to, which is basically what I always got confused because Topps Bunt, for instance, been out since 2012 maybe 2013. I thought that would the smartest move would have been just take that app, all those cards in it, and turn that in their NFT platform. And just if you were already in it, good for you. You got lucky. You got all these
Yep.
rare old cards that nobody has. You were there playing the game way before everybody else, and they didn't do that, which surprised me because I was like, dude, you had this massive opportunity to take something you already had previously developed with everything that already comes out and turn it into it because they sell the same thing on the app that they do in real life. And there's paywalls, especially now. If you want to get
Yeah.
into definitive, you don't can't do that with the free coins. You have to do that with diamonds. The only way to get diamonds is to either pay for them or win them in some weird special game that you play every week where you have to pick players that bat and swing and pitch and all that stuff. I enjoy the app. The biggest fear I have is what's happened with previous apps. They lose the license and now the game is shut down. And then they put it in what they call the vault, which you have to be able to log into to go look at your old cards, but you can't communicate with anybody anymore. So it's like, okay, so it's still there on the backside, but why are you holding it on the backside at the end of the day when I can't even play the game because the app isn't even working anymore? So it's like, this is really weird right now. So are you assuming that you're going to get it back and turn it back on? And then I'm going to get all my old stuff? And then I'm going to have the rarest stuff in the game? I don't really know.
Yeah, I
But
have
people
a
spend
bunch of.
hundreds of dollars a month on that, some probably thousands a month on these digital apps that they can literally say, oh, we don't have the license anymore. Poof. Sorry. You have nothing. And they sell these on
I
eBay.
had some of the top. I had some of Topps NFTs. I made money off of them. I still have some, but I know they closed down most of their gateways, so you couldn't sell stuff off, and things were locked. I would just say this: I think the company's just done a poor job of managing that. All the companies have done a poor job of that. You know,
Yeah.
Panini had a really good NFT program as well, and they've done a poor job kind of managing
Well,
that.
and,
So
and
I don't know.
Panini has
I even go
a
back to you said
football
why
and a
they.
basketball app.
In fact, I don't know why Panini has not come out with an NFL Monopoly game. I mean, they have all the other retail
I don't
stuff.
know.
I really thought they would have done that last year when Monopoly was as popular as it was in the summer. I was like, well, they got to come with an NFL game, and they never did. And here we have NBA Monopoly Part 2. I'm just surprised because NFL is probably their biggest license right now.
Oh, yeah,
As far as
100%.
money. And
Yeah.
anyway, let's see what else. So I guess we'll wrap this up. We're going a little over 30 minutes.
Yep.
Nothing really coming up. We'll talk in 2 weeks about what breaks we've been into. I'm hoping to get in some prison breaks. Like I said, I
Yeah, I'm gonna
probably
try.
will do prison Monopoly.
I'm gonna look for a few again right now. Like the thing, like if you go to Whatnot, you have to wait to get in a break, or you have to be in a break
Yeah,
3 days ago on their stream or what. I don't know that I
I don't
can't.
like
When
those.
I want to get into a break, I got into a break on Facebook the other day. It took 4 days for the break to fill with like 57 minis, and I'm like, I'm not here to wait 4 days. I'll go somewhere else with my money. It's not like it's cheaper here. That drives me nuts. Like,
I
get it
understand
and
that.
go. Like
I understand.
that's
I will
that's all.
say
I want to get in the break. I want
I'm
to
a
watch
big
something. I'm
fan.
going.
I'm a big fan of Mojo Breaks. I'm not a sponsor or anything with them, but I use Mojo Breaks.
Mhm.
I did get in their program. I paid $99 and I got a discount. It gives me 10% off all the basketball breaks. I've already gotten that money back
Mhm.
with the choice breaks. I will check them out. They also do discount their breaks as they get closer because they do fill and they do
Yeah.
break, which I like that about
Yeah.
Mojo a lot. And there's some big Facebook groups that have big retail that do $100 retail, 20, 2 or 3 cases of retail. I like those as well because you just get a lot of value in some of the Facebook breaks. So I'm looking to get some of those in the future. So I'll keep people updated. Monopoly's probably what I'll be breaking next, though.
Okay.
Congrats on
Cool.
surviving 2 episodes without breaking up. Thanks, Bob. I really can't wait to meet Bob Boozle someday. And Bob, I think your wife's probably a really nice, wonderful person. The wife's a really nice person, so hope she's doing well too. Always appreciate everybody who stopped by tonight. Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for being here. We'll be back in
Oh,
2
no problem.
weeks. Talk more. Breaking Bad. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
He's gonna end the stream here. See you later, Mike.
See you later, man.